Hi friends, my name is Borrodante and welcome to the new episode of Overpain. Today's patient is Sammy Wheaton, and her picture of a boy having an encounter with a mermaid in one of those cool aquariums, I suppose, where you can actually look at a wall of water. Made this for a school project, but it looked way better in my head. It's supposed to be a mermaid in an aquarium. Would love to see what you could do with it. Me too, let's get started. So I really love the idea of this unusual moment, to say the least. I mean, it's like an amazing thing that happened to this boy. He actually got to meet a mermaid. So this is the feeling we should kind of express. There should be like a thing, like a dialogue between these two characters. So I'm thinking maybe we'll do like the touch through the glass moment. Might look cool. And we should pay a lot of attention to the face and posture of the mermaid. Obviously, anatomy and geometry needs a lot of work on the mermaid. Also, I think to pay justice to this story, we need to rethink the composition. So let's really start with the full sketch. So I was thinking, maybe let's start searching the composition not in sketch, but in like a black and white gesture concept painting thing. We did it a couple of times before, like a long time ago, but that was when we didn't really pay enough attention to the sketch part afterwards. So I'm thinking maybe let's start with this black and white thing. Like, to define the proper contrast, we'll do a really black foreground, some colorful, not colorful, but high contrast middle ground. And foreground will be a really, like, pale, going into the air perspective kind of thing. So we'll see. I don't know where this is going. Are we gonna be able to kind of blend the sketch and the concept art together in some sort of a organic search tool? But I don't know. So we're obviously using Paintover brush for this. Now, one thing, I really don't want to spend all that much space for the background the way the original picture is. Like, it feels a bit unpleasant that there is like a story going on between two characters, but they take like, I don't know, 12% of the screen. So I think they should definitely be closer to us, although it's probably going to be hard to make it look like it's an actual aquarium. So I don't know, let's search. Right now, these things are the most important ones. Make characters closer to us, fit in somewhat of a pretty background of the sea world, because that was obviously one of the things that were really important for the picture. And also to make sure that the thing looks like an aquarium, so it would be clear where the thing is going on. So this is really just a pure glass wall. These things are probably pretty expensive to build, so not much details to play with. Okay, this is gonna be a little bit of a challenge that will probably fail. So the guy is gonna be just here. His belt is somewhere around this area, probably. I love the silhouette of the guy. I love the way he's balancing his weight by standing like this, like the legs go a bit to the back. I think we should do that as well. Yeah, whatever, it's good for now. So let's use this kind of color, or even darker, for the mermaid to just mark her in. Wow, this is some guy. Let's make things a bit slimmer. So let's do the hand-to-hand kind of thing. I want to make her looking a bit odd, like she's not really human, she's not from human society, so she's at least a bit, you know, like not civilized. She should have this kind of thing, you know, like an animal kind of action a bit. But she's gonna be pretty and all, but with a bit of a twist. Yeah, like this, you know, something interesting in her. I don't know where I'm getting this from, but it's definitely like a reference to something. She's not missing an arm, it's just like this. So maybe we connect the fingers a bit with the skin kind of thing, like the fishy situation. More like a reptile thing, though. The way that sea guy from Hellboy had. He's an awesome character. But, I mean, we're not gonna go as freaky as he is. This is mostly just a pretty lady, really. But still, you know? Wanna have something really curious about her. She has a really happy tail. Let's actually do that as well. Unpleasantly strong angle on the tail in the beginning. It's like she was almost broken. Still kinda looks broken. Let it go outside of the composition. I think it would be looking really cool. Also, not necessarily going like this, like flat. Let's say this one is, you know, twisting into the depth, really. Maybe not as much of a twist, though. See, this is called the search. This is a good thing. This is something that's harder to do in a sketch mode. Right now I'm just working with quick spots, erasing them, painting them again. But in sketch we would have to make an outline of the shape and fix it a little bit on the sides. But when there's an outline, it's easier to work with actual perspective. You can see the geometry better. And right now I only have these flat spots, and I really have to just keep it in my head that this is a three-dimensional object. It can go into the depth. And sometimes I just keep forgetting this and go flat again. So that's something to be aware of. Oh, this kind of widening looks really cool for the tail. So this is my attempt to twist it in 3 dimensions, I suppose. I mean, it's gonna work one way or another. It's not about what the shape is like, it's about what I think about it. I wanna zoom in even closer. Yep, like that. I feel like it's gonna be even better this way. Now, there's a tiny line of the connections between the pieces of glass. I don't know where we want it. Like here, and another one here. Like that, feels good. There's a problem of lighting though. Like, the face of Mermaid will be really dark comparing to everything else because it's facing the darkness of the room with people. I don't know, we'll see. It might be a bit of an unusual lighting this way. Oh, this is gonna be cool if I don't mess it up. You guys should help me with good advice. Now, let's do the background. Let's see. Let's choose this kind of color for details. A lot of them just have these stony kind of structures, underwater mountains of some sort, on sand. But some other ones have some really cool growth, seaweed and such. This, but we need the composition of it. How exactly can it go over there? Okay, some vertical things like that, plus stony stuff, and the sand ground. I like this one. Let's do something close to that. So let's fill in with kind of this color to begin with. So the sand is like really bright underneath. So let's do a couple of spots of that. Then more of a dark structures, these vertical ones. Now we should really think on the composition here. Now some of that seaweed thing. One should be really close to have some nice green stuff in the shot. Whatever. And the other one should be like here. Now some bright light spots breaking through all kinds of stones and rocks and whatnot in there, like the light from the surface, sort of. Although I'm not sure how these aquariums work. Do they have a sky surface? Sky on top of them, or is it just inside of a big room? I'm thinking probably the room thing. Okay. Is it cool? I think it's already pretty cool. The shoulders on the mermaid are very manly as usual. Some other fish, right? We should add some other fish. Like here. Oh yeah, this brings the aquarium feeling in immediately. Even in black and white picture. Well, there you go, something like this. How do we move on from this black and white thing? Let's actually go ahead and try to... Like, we'll probably sketch the anatomy and most details for the characters, but the background thing will definitely just evolve from what we have right now. So let's just add some color to it. And let's remove a little bit of green from the bottom. And from the top too. No, I guess only from the top. Alright, now for the mermaid. She has some kind of cool transition between her body, like the human part and the fish part. And the fish part will have... Well, there's a green color in the original composition, so let's maybe go with that. And the human part will go brighter and human-ish color, pushing it a lot to the gray because in the sea color lighting, the warm skin will appear a lot paler. Actually, completely gray even looks decent enough, but we're not gonna push it all that much. Okay, let's use this kind of color as the base, and of course then we'll push it brighter and darker everywhere. So there's that. I want to try and paint like more in one layer. Let's paint closer to the traditional method, because that's really where all the experiments we do here are going to. We should learn how to make things right in the right order, and then make that order happen within one layer really quickly. That's what I'm going for. Now let's see, the hair has this dark brown color. Let's maybe spice it up a notch. I think we need a bunch of colors there. Let's start with this. Automatically making hands a bit bigger than I made them initially, because that's my default mistake. I don't even see that it's too small, but it's... I know it is. All the hands should be bigger. Also the kid's hand, obviously. So let's add another color. Like cyan, probably, and it's gonna be like a bright color. Yeah, good one. So some kind of stripes in the hair. So the point is, I really want to try, like, we have all this theory in our head on how colors should blend, on how things should fade away into our perspective, how things should work for the highlights and everything, and how lights should blend on the surface of the object. And now I just want to go ahead and make this whole mess happen in one layer. Maybe really soon we'll merge everything together with the background even. But I'm not sure about that yet. Also, right now I'm trying to avoid working with silhouettes. Because first of all, I have no idea what those silhouettes could be, since this is really just a search of the generic shapes for the composition, not really, like, I don't know the anatomy, I don't know the real geometry here, so I'm trying to not define it all that much, even though I already did a lot. But the point is, I'm trying to, instead of painting lines, like silhouettes with lines, I should switch more to the spots, like putting spots. It's a subtle thing, it's something you should really like feel through why it matters, but it actually does. So I'm introducing some dark spots here that will allow me to search the shape of this mermaid beyond the silhouettes. Really want to segregate this hand into a separate layer. Maybe we'll do that, I'm not sure. Right now, let's keep it as it is. Maybe I should just train my brain to think, like, to be able to make things right. Again, it's really important to not define silhouettes, so I wouldn't be really bummed out by, you know, while I'll be working on the shapes of the chest, I wouldn't mess up the silhouettes of the hand, you know? This is the biggest problem. This is why you would want to segregate this hand in a separate layer. But if there is no actual silhouette defined, like right now this spot is really messy and doesn't really mean anything, there's no work put into this hand. So whatever if I'll mess it up by like defining a better color for the chest or something, you know? It doesn't matter, I know it's just there, and then I'll work on the silhouette of the hand when I'll be more confident about the colors on the breasts. Also, there are cool seashell going on the breasts. Let's do that right away. The color should be... maybe cyan will work good here. Or let's go with the original, like a brighter, this pink kind of brighter color. No, that's kind of weird. We should really think. It's kind of hard. Because the tail thing, it's not gonna be just plain green. There will be a lot of like, you know, cool reflections going on it, the way some fish has, so that'll be pretty. Let's actually mark that in first to figure out what we're dealing with on this tail. I gotta say, this kind of process in one layer is a lot more complex to hold everything in your head, so I don't really recommend that if you're like, you know, a beginner, even though I always feel like a beginner when I try to do something in not a beginner way. I immediately just slam down to nothing. But yeah, it's still a lot more enjoyable to work this way. Like, it's a lot more of a fluid process. You don't really have to deal too much with the interface of Photoshop and everything. No digital tricks involved all that much. You almost could do the same thing on a three-dimensional canvas. Three-dimensional means traditional, real. But I don't like saying real for traditional things because digital things are also real. So I'm thinking, like, all the parts of the fishy tail that are facing us. You know, it's always really important to figure out where things are facing, where the surface is facing. So everything that's facing us is gonna be really dark. It's gonna be the darkest part of the surface of anything, because there's no bright light from the front. It's all the bright lights are happening in the background. The aquarium is really lit. So yeah, the point is that everything that's facing us is gonna be really dark. And this is going to be even a lot more profound on the tail because it's really reflective, and reflections are a lot more sharp than just matte surfaces that are just lit. So the point is that these sharp shadows based on the angle of the surface, that's what will make this tail look reflective, is making it really sharp and like dark at certain points. The darker and sharper the color change happens from the angle, the more it looks reflective than just matte. This is like the first step to make something look reflective. Then you add like actual reflections of certain things from the background or something. But this is... you almost can only do that and it will look reflective and cool. And contrary to that, for instance, on the body, like let's actually do the hand in front really dark because it's like super close and no light from the aquarium really gets to the palm. Wow, that's some sausage hand. This is what I'm talking about when you're trying to avoid sketches or something. Well, I think we'll still need to sketch anatomy at least a little bit. Demonic claw. And that one too. Alright. Now, the same kind of thing will happen here, but with a lot lower contrast. Again, something that's happening with the tail, but very soft, because skin is way less reflective than the tail scales. This is fun. I don't know why, I really like just searching for a shape like this. So, air perspective is this color, right? And on the mermaid, it's gonna be really dark, kind of close to black. Like, the distance matters a lot. For instance, her hand in here can be completely black if it would have, like, absolutely no light on it. Because there's no air perspective, or should I say water perspective in this case. But on the body behind this hand, there's already some air perspective taking place. So, instead of painting the skin color shadows, we should switch to the air perspective color when it gets dark enough. But it's not the time yet, I think. So let's add that... yeah, let's Let's first add some extra colors on the tail, right? We'll see where this gets us. I have no idea what I'm doing. Trying to actually mess up some silhouettes in order to break through the simplicity of the shapes and search for more of a complex details all over the place. We'll see where this gets us. Not sure where I'm going with this weird spiky thing, but I just wanted to add something. God, I hate this pink. It's really not working out at all. Let's remove it and maybe try a lot of a closer color, like blue maybe? Or maybe we should look up some references on the reflectivity of this kind of material. Because for now I really don't know what I'm doing. Okay, let's go with kind of like white bra of hers. I think that would look the most decent way. So white is basically this color, a bit paler like this, since our perspective is not as strong, since the character is so close to us. Oh yeah, it was supposed to be in this direction, right? Yeah. Okay, let's drop some spots for the kid, like define some color on him. There shouldn't be much anyway. Let's go with blue shirt. And some gray jeans maybe, if that will be visible at all. Okay, so something like this for now. Tell me what you think, tell me what to improve everywhere, what to add, what to remove. Maybe some colors aren't cool enough. I really want to search the colors of the tail more. I really like what the white bra looks like. And the hair is kind of cool as well. The eyes will probably have pupils and all, but I'm not sure yet. So yeah, I guess this is it for the part 1 of the Mermaid Encounter. Let's call it that way. Kinda cool. Love the process of searching with just colors and whatnot. So this is gonna be really interesting, I think. Might bring some extra life to the painting if we do this way. But yeah, for now this is it. And I thank you for watching if you did. I guess you did if you're here. Leave a like and subscribe. Tell a friend. Experiment with carrots. Do whatever you want. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. Such a broken anatomy on her. Shoulders are dislocated. Well, that's something to fix in the next episode, I guess. For now, you have to deal with what you got, Miss Mermaid.